Welcome back to another energizing episode of Journey to Success. I'm Emily Carter, your host, and today we're diving into a topic that can transform how you approach each day: creating daily work motivation. Joining us is an inspiring guest, Dr. Laura Bennett, a productivity coach, best-selling author, and motivational speaker who's ignited passion and purpose in thousands of professionals worldwide. Laura, it's an absolute thrill to have you with us today.
Thank you, Emily. I'm so excited to be here and explore a subject that's all about fueling your drive to make every workday vibrant and meaningful.
I can't wait to hear your insights. Motivation can feel like a roller coaster. Some days you're unstoppable, others you're dragging. Laura, let's start with the big picture. Why is creating daily work motivation so essential for success, and how does it shape our careers and lives?
That's a brilliant question, Emily, and it really gets to the heart of why motivation matters. Daily work motivation isn't just about checking tasks off a list. It's about infusing your efforts with purpose, energy, and joy so you can thrive, not just survive in your career. When you're motivated, you're more creative, resilient, and engaged, qualities that lead to breakthroughs, stronger relationships, and a sense of fulfillment. Without it, work becomes a grind, draining your spirit and dimming your potential. Motivation is the spark that turns routine into progress, helping you build a career that aligns with your deepest aspirations. I think of someone like Elon Musk, whose relentless drive to innovate fuels Tesla and SpaceX. Musk has said, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." His motivation, rooted in a vision to change humanity's future, pushes him through setbacks and long hours. Early in my own journey, I was a corporate trainer in Seattle, stuck in repetitive tasks and feeling uninspired. I dread Mondays, barely scraping by. But when I started tapping into what truly excited me, helping others grow, my days lit up. I redesigned my workshops, earned promotions, and eventually launched my coaching practice. Motivation didn't just improve my work, it reshaped my life, turning drudgery into a canvas for impact and purpose.
That's such a powerful way to frame it, Laura. Motivation as a spark for progress. Musk's vision is so compelling. You mentioned finding your own excitement as a trainer. Can you walk us through how someone can start creating daily work motivation, especially if they're feeling stuck or uninspired?
Absolutely, Emily. The first step is to connect your work to a personal why. Motivation thrives when your tasks tied to something meaningful, your values, goals, or impact. Ask yourself, what part of my work matters to me? Or how does this help someone? I draw inspiration from Oprah Winfrey, who built her media empire by anchoring to her purpose, connecting people through stories. She said, "The biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams." Even mundane tasks like early reporting jobs fueled her bigger vision, keeping her driven. When I was stuck, I felt my training sessions were just busy work. I started reflecting. My why was empowering others to shine. So I reframed every slide I created as a chance to inspire someone's confidence. It transformed my energy. I'd walk into rooms excited, and my sessions got rave reviews, sparking my coaching path. I coached a client named Sarah, an accountant who found spreadsheets soul-crushing. She felt trapped. We uncovered her why, providing security for her family. She began seeing each report as a shield for her kids' future. That shift made her proactive. She streamlined processes, earning a raise. Connecting to a why isn't fluffy. It's a daily fuel that makes work matter. Another step is to design your environment for inspiration. Your surroundings, desk, music, routines shape your mindset. I learned this from Steve Jobs, who obsessed over Apple's aesthetics to spark creativity, saying, "Design is not just what it looks like, it's how it works." I used to work in a cluttered cubicle, which dulled my focus. I added a vision board, plants, and a playlist of upbeat jazz. It woke me up, my productivity soared. Sarah, inspired by Jobs, cleared her desk, added family photos, and played classical music. Her mood lifted and she tackled tasks with zest. A motivating environment primes you to dive in, even on tough days.
I love those starting points, Laura, a personal why and an inspiring environment. Oprah and Jobs make it so vivid. But what about when motivation crashes, like during a stressful project or a bad day? How do you reignite it then?
Oh, Emily, those low moments hit us all. when stress piles up or you just wake up off. The key is to use micro-wins to rebuild momentum. Break your day into tiny, achievable tasks. Send one email, draft one paragraph, and celebrate each completion. It's like kindling for your inner fire. I draw from Serena Williams, who faced crushing losses but rebuilt confidence through small goals, like perfecting one serve. She said, "Every win, no matter how small, gets you closer." Her 23 Grand Slams prove the power of incremental progress. During a grueling training rollout, I hit a wall, critique stung, and I felt flat. Inspired by Serena, I focused on micro-wins. Rewriting one slide, nailing one delivery. Each lifted my mood, and the project succeeded, launching my book. I coached a client named Michael, a sales rep who lost his spark during a quota slump. Stress made him dread calls. We set micro goals, one friendly outreach daily. He'd text me after saying, "Nailed it." That rebuilt his drive, landing a major client. Micro-wins trick your brain into feeling progress, reigniting motivation. Another tool is reframing challenges as growth. Stressful projects aren't just hurdles, they're chances to stretch. I learned this from Michelle Obama, who tackled First Lady pressures by seeing them as growth, saying, "You don't grow if everything is easy." When I bombed a keynote, Mike's failed audience disengaged, I was crushed. But I reframed it. A lesson in resilience. I studied delivery, and my next talk got a standing ovation. Michael reframed his slump as a chance to hone pitches, which sharpened his skills. Reframing turns stress into fuel, keeping motivation alive when life pushes back.
That's so energizing, Laura. Micro wins and reframing challenges. Serena and Michelle's examples make it feel doable. You've mentioned icons like Musk and Oprah. Are there other famous figures whose daily motivation inspires you?
Oh, absolutely, Emily. The world is full of motivation masters we can learn from. Take Nelson Mandela, who stayed driven through decades of struggle by focusing on justice. Even in prison, he studied, wrote, and inspired others, saying, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." His purpose kept him moving daily, shaping a nation. I leaned on Mandela's resolve when a coaching launch stalled. No clients, endless tweaks. I focused on one call a day, and it grew my practice globally. I coached a client named Olivia, a teacher who felt drained by grading. Mandela's persistence inspired her to plan one engaging lesson daily. Her students thrived, earning her an award. Another is Maya Angelou, who fueled her writing through discipline and joy, saying, "Do what you love, and do it so well that people can't take their eyes off you." Despite trauma, she rose early to write, creating works like I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Her routine inspired me to start my day with a motivational quote, setting a positive tone. My workshops improved. Olivia, inspired by Angelou, began mornings with a gratitude list, reigniting her classroom passion. Then there's Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO, who stays motivated by curiosity, saying, "Don't be a know-it-all, be a learn-it-all." He reads daily, fueling innovation. I adopted his habit, studying one article before work. It sparks ideas for clients. I coached a client named Ethan, a chef whose menu ideas dried up. Nadella's curiosity led Ethan to try one new recipe weekly, reviving his restaurant's buzz. These figures show motivation isn't magic. It's a daily choice to connect, create, and grow.
Those stories are so uplifting, Laura. Mandela, Angelou, Nadella, they show motivation as a daily craft. What are common mistakes people make when trying to stay motivated, and how can we avoid them?
Great question, Emily, because pitfalls can dim even the brightest drive. One big mistake is relying on external validation. People wait for praise or rewards to feel motivated, but that's shaky ground. Bosses don't always notice, and raises aren't daily. I learned this from J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter through rejections, driven by her story's worth, saying, "It is our choices that show what we truly are." I used to crave client feedback, slumping without it. Now I focus on my effort's value. Each session fuels me. I coached a client named Rachel, a designer who stalled without likes on her work. Rowling's self-belief inspired Rachel to create for herself. She landed a major exhibit. Avoid this trap by finding joy in your process, not applause. Another trap is overloading your plate. Taking on too much kills motivation, exhaustion sets in, and nothing feels doable. Tim Ferriss, productivity guru, says, What you don't do determines what you can do. I once juggled too many projects, crashing hard. Now, I prioritize 3 tasks daily, preserving energy. My focus tripled. Rachel, inspired by Ferris, cut side gigs, pouring energy into one portfolio. It won awards. Less is more for motivation. Finally, ignoring rest saps drive. You can't run on empty. Ariana Huffington, post-burnout, champions sleep, saying, renewal is the key to creativity. I skipped rest, dragging through days until I added naps. My enthusiasm returned. Rachel adopted Huffington's rest, sleeping 8 hours, boosting her designs. Avoiding these traps, seeking validation, overloading, skipping rest, keeps motivation steady and strong.
That's such a wake-up call, Laura. Rolling self-belief, Ferris focus, Huffington's rest. They reframe motivation so practically. How do we sustain daily motivation long-term, especially when life gets chaotic or goals feel far off?
Sustaining motivation is like keeping a fire burning. It needs steady tending, especially through chaos or distance. One habit is daily rituals. Small, consistent acts like journaling goals or a morning walk anchor your drive. I learned this from Tony Robbins, who starts days with visualization, saying, where focus goes, energy flows. I write one goal each morning, aligning my day. It's kept me coaching through crises. I coached a client named Anna, a nurse whose shifts dulled her spark. Robbins' rituals inspired her to stretch 5 minutes daily, boosting energy. She led a hospital initiative. Rituals ground motivation, no matter the storm. Another key is tracking progress. Celebrate how far you've come, it fuels the next step. Warren Buffett tracks investments meticulously, saying, you don't get results by focusing on results, but by focusing on the actions that produce results. I log weekly wins, a great session, a kind email. It reminds me I'm moving forward, even slowly. Anna tracked patient thank yous, which lifted her through long hours. She earned a promotion. Progress tracking turns distant goals into daily triumphs. Also, connect with inspirers. Surround yourself with people who uplift, colleagues, mentors, friends. Malala Yousafzai stayed motivated by her community, saying, we realize the importance of our voices only when we are silenced. My mastermind group shares ideas, sparking my drive. I coached a client named Mark, a writer who lost steam. Malala's community inspired him to join a writer's circle. His novel's done. Connection reignites passion. Finally, revisit your vision. Reconnect with why you started. It's your North Star. Martin Luther King Jr. stayed driven by his dream, saying, keep moving forward. My vision, transforming lives, pulls me through slumps. These habits, rituals, tracking, connection, vision, build motivation that lasts a lifetime.
Those are such vibrant tools, Laura. Robbins' rituals, Buffett's tracking, King's vision. It's a blueprint for drive. As we close, what's one final piece of advice for listeners ready to ignite their daily motivation today?
My biggest advice is to choose one spark now. Motivation grows from a single intentional act, not a leap. Think of Fred Rogers, who inspired millions by starting each day with kindness, saying, imagine what our neighborhoods would be like if each of us offered, as a matter of course, just one kind word. For me, it was that first goal journal lighting my career. One last story. I coached a single dad named Brian, a carpenter who dreaded his repetitive jobs, feeling empty. We looked at Abraham Lincoln, driven by small steps, saying, I walk slowly, but I never walk backward. Brian started sketching one new design daily, rekindling joy. It led to custom orders and teaching kids carpentry. If Brian can find his spark, so can you. Pick one act today. Write your why, clear your desk, celebrate a win. That choice fuels a workday alive with purpose.
What a beautiful way to wrap up, Laura. Brian's story, alongside legends like Rogers and Lincoln, shows motivation is for everyone. Thank you for sharing such profound wisdom and practical steps. I know our listeners are ready to light up their workdays.
Thank you, Emily, and to all the listeners. I hope you feel empowered to make every workday a step toward your dreams.
And that's it for today's episode of Journey to Success. If this conversation fired you up, and I'm certain it did, please hit that subscribe button to catch every energizing episode. Share this with someone needing a motivation boost, and join us next time for more insights to fuel your journey. Until then, keep sparking your daily drive.